is even more important. I watched this young lady tonight being loved by her friends and by her family. And the fact that she's going to share with you tonight is why I not only need you to give me your heart, but your ears. This young lady has been given an unbelievable hurdle in life. And they always say, God will never give you more than you can handle. But if you've got a big challenge, that only means that you've got an even bigger destiny. I want to, for some, introduce you to Lexie Browning. She is loved more than you can imagine. Lexie is fighting a rare form of sarcoma. She is not fighting alone, and tonight we see there are so many of you here tonight. She is sharing with you so you will understand why this battle is so important. Will you please give her your love, your heart, your ears, and a round of applause. Please welcome Lexie Browning.
February 27th, 2019. I was at work and it was just another regular Wednesday afternoon when I got a phone call. It was the radiologist who was calling regarding an MRI that I had just gotten done the day before. He went on to tell me that I have an 18-centimeter mass wrapped around my right femur bone. I tried to write down the information as he was giving it to me, but my hands were trembling so bad that I physically couldn't. From there, we decided to proceed with a leg and a lung biopsy. Fast forward to March, and the results were in. I met with my doctor, who matter-of-factly confirmed my worst fears. He diagnosed me with stage 4 alveolar soft part sarcoma. Stage 4 because it had actually metastasized to my lungs. The way that this disease works, it doesn't give you any symptoms or warning signs, and it spreads really early on. So usually by the time you're able to be diagnosed, it's already metastasized to a dangerous degree. And when that happens, it doesn't spread to one concentrated area of the lung. It's little nodules that are kind of like popcorn that are spread everywhere throughout both sides of the lungs, which makes it impossible for them to be surgically removed. Unfortunately, that's the situation that I'm in. And I can remember the doctor giving me that information and leaving us the room, and my family and I were wrapped in the tightest group hug possibly of all time. We were shocked and scared, and we sobbed in disbelief. I felt like I could almost audibly hear the world as I knew it collapse around me. I knew I was in for a very long and a very difficult battle. The months following were a blur of appointments and emotions, and I just kept coming back to the same thought. I was like, how? You know? I was only 24 years old at the time. I was less than a year into a new job, and I had recently just purchased my first house. I felt like my life was just beginning, but it didn't matter. Cancer doesn't care if you're young. Cancer doesn't care if you have a life to live or plans for the future. Night after night, I was finding myself on Google searches of doom that left my heart sinking into my stomach and sleep became hard to come by. What I thought was hard on me was even harder on my loved ones. The thing about alveolar soft part sarcoma is that it is extremely rare. Sarcoma itself only makes up 1% of all cancers, and the type that I have is among the rarest type of sarcomas. I'm one of about 60 others in all of the United States to receive this diagnosis last year. Because of that, there's little to no information out there. About the only thing that we do know is that it's not responsive to traditional chemotherapy. My local oncologist, Dr. Ham, referred me to Dana-Farber in Boston, Massachusetts. And that was a particularly hard trip for me because the sarcoma specialist there told me that this is a disease that I'll have to deal with for the remainder of my life. He said, even if I do get rid of it, the likelihood that it'll recur somewhere down the line is very high. But he also said that alveolar soft part sarcoma is very, very slow growing, which I'm thankful for. So with all of that in mind, it's his educated opinion that I'll have somewhere between 10 and 20 years left to live. He also knew of an ongoing immunotherapy trial that's happening at the National Institute of Health in Bethesda, Maryland. So we went out there and met with Dr. Alice Chin, who is heading the trial, which uses the drug atezolizumab. After several more biopsies, scans, and scary consent forms, I was lucky enough to be enrolled into the trial, and I travel there every 21 days for treatment. Over the course of this experience, I've been truly humbled and inspired by the number of people that have so eagerly offered up a helping hand, whether that be to help ease my burden or just to brighten my day. And on that note, I just want to take a quick second to say thank you to my family and my best friends that happen to be here tonight. This is just one example of their unwavering support, and I literally cannot do this without them. Similarly, I want to give an especially big thank you to my doctors and medical staff, whose knowledge, passion, commitment, and achievements are beyond impressive. Now, I'm currently stable and have seen no notable changes since my treatment began almost a year ago. The immunotherapy is keeping my tumors at bay and allowing me to buy precious time, which is really all I wanted. Time to learn and grow, time to help others, time to love, and time to live. You know, when I was asked to come up here and speak tonight, I was honestly super intimidated, and when I was thinking about what I wanted to say, I felt inadequate. And that's because I'm just one of millions going through an experience similar to this. I'm only one patient, one body that's fighting off an unwanted intruder, and I'm just one pair of trembling hands on the wrong side of a phone call. Every experience is different. Everyone is fighting their own individual fight. No strain of cancer is the same as the next. And that's kind of the point. These genomic labs are going to help identify the exact type of cancer that a person has, as well as pinpoint the best course of treatment for fighting off that particular type of cancer, because one size does not always fit all. And as a person who's had to live through a hard stretch of nothing but uncertainty, I can tell you the one thing I wanted most in the world was answers. And the genomic labs are going to provide that for future patients on a quick and local basis. So thank you to the Steven Vanover Foundation for that. yesterday by a lady named Stephanie Sparkles, and it says, "I love when people that had to go through hell come out on the other side carrying buckets of water for those still consumed in the fire." And I just thought that was a really good representation of the Vanover family, as well as Lauren Rocky and her family, and I'm sure many others that are here with us tonight. So I just wanted to say that I love what you guys are doing, and I'm so honored to be part of it. And lastly, to the rest of you, thank you for your willingness to show up for a cause that is so immensely important and can help so many. Thank you for refusing to give up and continuing to help seek a cure. Let's have a good night tonight, everybody.